Hey, Laker Nation, man. Lakers go up 2-1 to beat the Rockets in game three. And they won 12-102 victory behind LBJ and AD. They led the team in scoring with 60-plus points again as a duo, Laker fam. But the energy, defense, and tangibles of the game, man. Rondo, Caruso, and Kyle Kuzma, they were huge this game. And I believe they fueled the Lakers to close this game in the fourth quarter. You know, if it's your first time to the channel and you're looking for a different flavor of Laker basketball content on the tube, and you value objectivity, rationale, logic based off of empirical data, and from a student against perspective, and you love talking Lakers hoops like I do, then you've arrived to the right channel. Consider subscribing. And for those of you who are already subbed, switch that notification bell to get alerts on my videos when they drop. Also, can you give a Laker brother a follow on Twitter? My Twitter handle will be in the description. I know YouTube usually struggles with getting videos out and things of that nature, so it'd probably be best to follow me on Twitter, because when I drop the videos or when I post the videos, you all will see the tweets. So it's connected to my YouTube channel. But anyway, lastly, can you all show a Laker brother some love? Switch that like button. I'll greatly appreciate it. Now let's get to the full game recap. First quarter, both the Lakers and Rockets, man, they're starting off well offensively pretty much this game. Both teams weren't playing defensively. Clearly, the Rockets really, their style is their defensive answer is to try to outscore teams. And I thought the pace that the Lakers are playing were in their hands. They're playing to the Rockets' advantage. I didn't like the fact that Coach Vogel went small, not playing Dwight Howard. I can understand not playing JaVale McGee because he didn't offer anything, but Dwight Howard rotates defensively. He's a true bruiser inside, can rebound the ball, can post up, things of that nature. But as long as the Lakers play at a good pace, man, and play defense, then they're going to be able to win. But Marquis Morris, rather, I do like him in the lineup, or in the rotation rather, but not to start. So that's just my perspective. I think the Lakers should go small and just start AD at the 5, have Brown at the 4, and then Kuzin at the 3. But that's just my perspective. But the Lakers were sloppy, playing in transition, turning over the ball, which led to the Rockets scoring inside or outside for 15-15 to start at the 7+ minute mark for the game. And then Lakers not defending well overall to start. Rondo, nice connection to AD on a backdoor lob. That's always going to be there at the 4+ minute mark, man, in the first quarter. That's always going to be there because you have Tucker, Covington, players like that, including Gordon. They're going to be overplaying AD. So if I'm the Lakers, when they decide to do that and front him, they have to clear out. Or if they're not going to clear out for that lob pass backdoor play, then they're going to have to swing the ball so that they get the proper positioning for AD. And then AD has to work on sealing Gordon or Covington or PJ Tucker on his hip. He cannot allow them to get it back in front of him. So it's going to work by two ways, either by ball movement or better positioning. But that's up to AD and of course the team to try to work that out. But speaking of AD, he was poor defensively, falling for pump fakes on the perimeter, not rotating and trapping James Harden, which allowed guys like Green and others to get to the key. Westbrook. AD has to be better and more disciplined defensively, not falling for pump fakes, things of that nature. In the first quarter as a team defender, he wasn't solid at all, and probably this probably was his worst game, I would say, defensively, especially in the team aspect. He just wasn't rotating properly. Was a step to two behind on his rotation. And then Westbrook, man, of course he was going to come out 13 points. Like I said, he's going to start hitting shots. Brother's a fearless competitor. He's going to keep going. I thought the Lakers did a poor job defending him at the rim. You can't allow Westbrook to get to the rim and get easy chippies, because a player with his type of mentality, all they need to do is see the ball going into the rim once, and they believe they can make anything. And things are going to go to the aggressor, and that's how Westbrook plays. But he's not always going to miss shots. So that's a thing that the Lakers have to be prepared for, but they cannot allow him to get in the inside, man. Like they adjusted in the fourth quarter. That's exactly how they have to adjust on Westbrook overall in this series. Lakers allowed Rockets to shoot 68%, fam, man. The defense was just trash, straight up ass by the Lakers, and the Rockets will. But like I said, the Lakers can't get into trying to play the same game, with high octane offense and no defense. It doesn't work that way. They didn't defend to start well. Their offense was a little stagnant from time to time, but it was good with LBJ with 12 points, AD with 9 points. Lakers down 1 going into the second half. or second quarter rather, 33-32, I believe. And second quarter, hell of a pass by LBJ to Caruso for the cut at the 9+ minute mark. That's what makes LeBron James special as well. The fact that he can score and the fact that he has creative genius type of. He just sees stuff in his head, man, and he manifests that into reality on the basketball court. That's what makes him a great overall player, man. If you're building a player in a lab, in my opinion, Laker fan and basketball fans that may be viewing this video, you want a cat like LeBron James or Kevin Durant, man. Just freakish athletes with crazy length, athleticism, and that can play on multiple ends of the floor, man. They're both ridiculous hybrids, and LeBron James and KD, but LBJ had himself a great first half. I like the mentality he came out to score, and trying to lead his team and things of that nature. The Lakers just played atrocious defense overall in the first half, and I would say pretty much for the 3 quarters of this game up to the fourth quarter. But AD by far his worst defensive game of the season. Like I said, laid on team rotation, not defending at the rim, was lost on D. And to top that off, the refs were calling bullshit again. Man, I hardly complain about the refs, Laker fan, but it was frustrating to watch. Gordon getting a lot of calls, Harden, falling down, flopping, things of that nature, and LeBron James and Anthony Davis, they're holding onto them inside and things of that nature, grabbing their jersey and getting hacked when they attack the cup. No calls for us. It's funny because LeBron James, if he was in a different uni, man, he would be getting those calls. But the fact that he's on the Lakers, you know how it is. They don't like the Lakers and the media don't either, but that's okay. With every successful person comes a pack of haters. You guys know how it is. But I didn't like the pace that the Lakers were playing at, not having rim protection, not playing Dwight Howard, like I mentioned earlier, when he has smart defensive instincts and good defensive awareness. Like I said, adds a bruiser, a rebounder, and a rim protector. I like Keith, but not to start the game off and not to play at the small 5 rather position. I believe AD should play that, and then Morris should play the 4 or something like that when LeBron James is out, or vice versa. Have LeBron in to have a big front court. But Keith doesn't add what Dwight Howard adds. At the 5 position. So I thought the Lakers were playing into the Rockets' hands, jacking up shots, playing fast. Got to slow it down, fellas. Run selectively when you guys get stops and things of that nature and attack the cup. Don't try to beat an opponent at their strength. Beat them at your strength. So, leaving Harden open, the most dangerous man on the court for the Rockets, just was a lack of defensive effort and a lack of defensive awareness, man. You got to know the game plan. And they can't do that, and I thought that's what allowed the Rockets to keep the lead, other than Westbrook, of course, being the main player to kind of galvanize them, and then Harden, of course, coming into his groove. You can't allow a scorer like Harden to get in his offensive groove. But LBJ ends the first half with 29 points, man. Like I said, he came out to try to dominate and score the ball. Wasn't looking to pass. He only had, I think, 5 assists. But that's, like I said, that's the LeBron James I like, man. We need that aggressive player with that killer instinct, that mama spirit. But AD with 14 points, Harden with 21 points, Westbrook with 17 points. The Lakers play some fucking defense, man, in the first half, allowing 64 points in the first half, man. 64 points, Laker fam. Just atrocious defense by the Lakers. But they were down by 3 points, I believe, with 61 points. I think the Rockets had, 64 to 61. Lakers not getting the Rockets to turn over the ball as they did in game 1 and 2. Only had they had 0 points, I believe, in the fast break, which was the difference in terms of the Lakers not having the lead to end the first half. Rockets, I believe, had 12 points in the fast break and off of turnovers primarily. So that was the difference in the first half in terms of the Rockets having the lead versus the Lakers. And then the second half, third quarter, LBJ, 2 great blocks, man. It was great on the weak side, and then also hustling back and challenging shots at the rim. Great job by LeBron James, man. Good team defense and rotation, and helping recovery in terms of being there for his teammates and putting in that extra effort, looking like his older self, man, on those chase down blocks, activating that chase down artist, NBA 2K21, man. Shout out to them. Actually, a fucking playable game, fan, for those of you playing. Hey, the last good 2K, kind of off topic, but the last good 2K was 2K17 in my opinion. Good soundtrack and just overall good game quality, but good to finally see them put some effort into this game. But anyway, back to the Lakers versus the Rockets game 3. Lakers finally, getting stops and out on the break as well, take the lead at the 6+ minute mark by 1.70 to 69, and then Lakers offensively standing around, kind of getting stagnant from time to time in this game, particularly in third quarter, man, late in the third quarter. AD not getting deep post positioning, and Alex Caruso and Rajon Rondo at that point in time, deep in the third quarter, not taking open shots, which resulted in late shot clock attempts by AD or LeBron James, but particularly AD, man, he was catching the ball way too far. You got to take those shots, fellas. Mid-range 3-point shots like you did in the fourth quarter. Just don't hesitate. Take it with confidence, man, because it's going to be there and it's going to fall. Just like Westbrook's shot was falling this game, it's definitely going to be an opportunity for Rajon Rondo and Caruso and other players to hit open shots. So they got to take it with confidence, man. No matter if you miss, just keep that same defensive effort and energy just like you guys did this game. But overall, just poor offensive structure for the Lakers in the third quarter, and a continuation of lack of rim protection and team defense. Lakers going into the fourth quarter tied 82-82, and then fourth quarter, Lakers started the fourth off with forcing a turnover on Westbrook. I thought the Lakers did a pretty damn good job in the fourth quarter overall, defensively on James Harden, particularly on Westbrook, not allowing him to get to the cup. Alex Caruso and Kyle Kuzma, man, they are playing good straight up defense, not going for pump fakes, just allowing Westbrook to play. Because the problem with Westbrook is that he plays too fast. He plays way too fast. And I was talking to a cat on Twitter about this, and I'm not saying I wish Westbrook would get injured, but I'm saying I think it's similar to Derrick Rose. I think if they got like a serious injury that affected their speed, it would force them to learn the nuance of their game. It would force them to learn mid-range, to play to even kill speed. So I think it would benefit Westbrook if he was to get an injury that affected his speed. Not a serious injury, but an injury that would affect the speed and force him to kind of play slower so that he's able to hone his game more, and things that he probably has that he never knew, like his mid-range. I think he's not a bad mid-range shooter, particularly when he utilizes that bank shot. He makes a lot of those, so I think that'll benefit him in my perspective. But he plays too fast, and Caruso and Kyle Kuzma played good, beating him, taking the angle away, beating him to his spot so that he would force a shot over them, hoping for the foul. So great job by those fellas defensively on Westbrook. And I think the Lakers, they took a lead 85 to 84, the Rockets rather, on a Westbrook 3 after. And then Rondo hits a 3-point shot later on within the fourth quarter. Nice ball movement at the 9+ minute mark to get the Lakers up 4 points, 89 to 85 at that point in time. Then Rondo follows it up for another 3, then a layup, man. I'm telling you guys, I keep telling you, busters, you haters, playoff Rondo is no joke, man. But y'all gonna learn, keep talking your shit, keep using red herrings and focusing on the regular season, man, when it's the playoffs. Players, like Rondo, who are seasoned vets, man, who can never be rattled, their level goes up because they've been there, they've been through the trenches, they've been through the battles, so they know what it takes to win a championship, man. So people could doubt Rondo all they want and hate on him, but it's clear that this man's a different player come the playoffs. And then Caruso, man, speaking of Rondo and Caruso's defensive effort and energy overall, Caruso gets a good stop on Westbrook, then hits a right corner 3-point shot to get the Lakers up by 10, 97 to 87. Hey, didn't I tell y'all, man? I've been saying it. I might be the only one in the minority on this one, but Rondo and Caruso on the court at the same time, I keep saying this, and I've said it on Twitter, I've said it on here, on the channel. They both balance one another out, Laker fan, with passing, court savviness, and floor leadership, and being a floor general in Rajon Rondo. That's what Caruso doesn't have, but Caruso does have the energy and the defensive effort and the cutting. They both balance one another out. Rondo knows how to find Caruso when he's off the ball, moving off the ball, things of that nature. They trap really well. Actually, they did a pretty damn good job on James Harden. And then Rondo, knows how to allow LeBron James to rest on the offensive end in terms of creating offense and then find players overall. So them on the court at the same time with their defensive effort and this trapping game plan defensively for the Lakers is working out. They both provide great impact. So, they were both the result, in my opinion, watching this game. For the Lakers' run to a 10-point lead, and overall it's for the win, actually, particularly in the fourth quarter. The Lakers had they got the 10-point lead because of them, and overall were able to close this game. because of them and their defensive and their energy and the little things. The prime two reasons outside of LBJ and AD, of course, in terms of the scoring, was Rajon Rondo and Caruso mainly. Also Kuzma, throwing Kuzma out on that aspect as well. Very good on the off-ball movement his activity overall, his defense on Harden and Rondo switching onto them, cutting, to the basket as well with Kuzma, and then getting offensive boards as well, man. His activity overall, I'm loving the fact that Kuzma is not focused on trying to be the third guy, because that's not something that he should be focusing on. If he has his heart in the right place, it's gonna manifest either way. But great job by Kuzma, man, coming off the bench and just playing his role with just providing energy and then letting the scoring come. But he's, like I said, the main aspect I liked is the fact that he was moving without the ball, being active on both offense and defense for the boards, and then as well as switch defense as well. Playing good verticality defense on Westbrook and or Harden when they get to the rim. And then Rondo's shot making and playmaking was huge in the fourth quarter, along with Caruso making shots as well, man. And his Caruso's defense on Westbrook, forcing him to miss shots at the rim. Both again, fam. Told y'all, man, they're both good in the backcourt. They balance one another out with playmaking and defense. Again, and the energy at times. Shot making, like tonight, it's not always going to be there, of course, but then you're seeing, the funny thing is you're seeing cats like Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith is the face of ESPN Sports, man. He's talking about what's the world coming to when you have Rondo hitting 3-point shots. Brother, you have statisticians at ESPN giving you numbers, giving you the things that you need to know, game notes, and you don't know this. Rajon Rondo's been doing this shit since 2007 or 2008 in the playoffs. This is not a new thing. I'm not even a reporter. I'm not a paid professional, but I understand the game and I follow the game closely and I study the game. But that's his job. His job is to know the facts and present the facts to the vast majority, and he's not doing a good job at that. So I called him out. I said, you got to know this stuff, man. This is not nothing new. And then Chris Broussard as well, and other cats coming out saying that playoff Rondo is a thing. No shit, fellas. You guys are in the media once again, getting paid millions of dollars or six-figure income. When you have a cat like me on YouTube, just trying to present the facts, and shout out to the YouTube content creators, by the way. Shout out to you guys, because a lot of us, we're focused on the facts. We're not focused on bullshit narratives and stuff like that. And just going narrative by narrative, not even watching games. We actually watch games in its entirety. And that's the difference between the media online versus the media, on TV. That's why it's called programming. They program you to believe the bullshit narratives that they put out on the tube, man. That's why independent media, people like myself, content creators, we're thriving, and it's going to be like that. And it's going to be the future because, we're not trying to spread bullshit propaganda, most of us at least. So that's the difference, man. But you got to know, man. You got to know. Playoff Rondo has been a thing since 2008, man. Please recognize that. Put some respect on this man's name. But that's all right, man. Here on this channel, we're only focused on objectivity, rationale, and logic, and the facts. That's all we're focused on, empirical data, man. So if the media's not going to shout out Rajon Rondo and present the facts, I am. So that's why you have cats like, here like me, that are going to do that. So the main media won't do that shit. It is what it is. It's all gravy. But, speaking of the main media, man, Kenny Smith on NBA TNT said in his not in his halftime show, rather, but his post-game show with Charles, Ernie, and Shaq, he said that they don't win this game without Rajon Rondo. Sir, I couldn't agree more. He did allow LeBron James to relax on the offensive end, which allowed LeBron James to have energy, defense, things of that nature, and to score at the basket and things of that nature, to score overall. Just look at how rejuvenated LeBron James was, not having to create offense the entire game, man. That's why Rajon Rondo was key, having him. Yeah, sure, he may miss shots. Sure, he may make dumb decisions at times. Sure, he may agitate some of you guys. Sometimes he agitates me. Same thing with Caruso. Everybody on the team agitates me because I'm an objective individual, and I'm going to critique constructively everybody. Not, I have no favorites. I have no horse in a race. But just having Rajon Rondo allows LeBron James to be rejuvenated and not have to exert so much energy. He had the energy to score, he had the energy to defend, etc. But it isn't just Rajon Rondo, man. It's Caruso too, and Kyle Kuzma. Three of those guys, man, were huge this game. just by providing the intangibles, the little things that are not measured on the stat sheet rather. But cats are so focused on Rajon Rondo missing shots or his stats, points per game, but they fail to see the little aspects that matter, the details, which I point out in this channel. Which Rondo, for example, double teaming James Harden again and forcing him into a facilitator again. This was big. He didn't get into a rhythm to finish, and hitting shots that he would usually hit as he did in the first half. And James Harden, they did a good job on him defensively. And then Rajon Rondo hitting shots overall, that's icing on the cake, Laker fam. We already know he's not a scorer, but you can't measure shit like that. You can't just measure it with just points per game. That's not how it works. So this channel is an educational channel from a student against perspective. I played at a high level. I've been a part of coaching staffs, and I'm trying to work on doing that again in the future, man. Maybe at a high level, professionally, maybe become a scout rather. But that's something that basketball is my passion. That's what I love. That's what I think about. It's my first love. But I aim to try to educate viewers. That's what I try to do on this channel and overall on Twitter. But it becomes tough, man, because a lot of the fans, they don't see the game the way I do. So you have to try to connect the dots, and hopefully they follow along. If they don't, then just let them be. It is what it is. But Lakers' great defense in the full quarter, only allowed, I believe, 20 points in the fourth quarter. They did a really good job, man. Played better defense, starting, like I said, with Caruso, Rondo, Kuzma, their effort on rotation team defense and doubling James Harden, making the extra effort to rotate LeBron James as well, chase shooters off the three-point line for the Rockets, because they were so focused on getting that three-point shot, man. When the Lakers are active on defense and they're elite like they're supposed to be, they're gonna nullify the Rockets' game plan of attack at ease because they're so predictable on the offensive end, because they would just want to jack up threes because of this analytics bullshit. They don't really have mid-range jump shots. I think Westbrook takes 70 to 80% of their mid-range jump shots. That tells you a lot. And if you know your personnel and who you're playing against, you're going to be able to make good adjustments. So good adjustments by Frank Vogel in the second half, particularly in the fourth quarter, as opposed to the first half. Great job by Frank Vogel. We already know he's a good defensive coach. He turned Roy Hibbert into a really good paint defender, and he has a principle, man, building the defense from the inside out, forcing them to go into walls and challenge them at the rim, things of that nature. So a great job by Frank Vogel. And then Harden had only 12 points in the second half. Huge adjustment for the Lakers to keep arguably the hottest offensive player in the league out of the zone offensively, man. But let's get to the player stats and team stats to close this game recap. OBJ with 36 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 blocks, Laker fam. Loved how he came out with the mentality to score and need that type of LeBron James, man. And his defense was great. His defensive rotation, getting 4 blocks, props to LeBron James, setting the tone on both ends of the floor, galvanizing his team as a leader, man, and was solid in the second half on making the extra effort on double teaming James Harden and rotating the shooters, chasing them off the three-point line. I seen him just being active, along with Kuzma, players like that, Caruso, and Rondo. They're all on a string together defensively, and then AD came along later on. But man, I think the closing lineup, it might have to be with Alex Caruso, Rajon Rondo, LeBron James, Kuzma, and AD, because that's a solid defensive lineup, and they've done pretty damn good, man. So I think Vogel has to go to that and reward them for their effort. But AD, 26 points, 15 rebounds, 6 assists. Rondo, 21 points, man, 9 assists. Y'all Rondo haters can take that shit to the bank. Y'all gonna learn, man. I'm telling you, give this brother his props, and shut the fuck up with your feelings, because that's just irrelevant, man. I'm disliking him. The point is, if he's productive and Caruso are productive, what difference does it make? The stand shit again. I keep saying this has to stop. Fanboys have to get out of your feelings. That's all. If you guys are Laker fans, then whoever does well, it doesn't matter. The point is, both of them doing well is beneficial to the team, man. That's all that matters. So it didn't matter, for example, Caruso had 4 or 5 points, I don't know, something like that, but who cares? His effort and defense was great, and that's all I'm focusing on, the little things like that. Scoring is icing on the cake. We already know he's not a scorer. Same thing with Rajon Rondo. But Kuzma, 14 points, 3 rebounds, 1 block, man. Again, props to Kuzma. since the bubble started, man, it kind of got his confidence. But again, I'm loving the fact that he's just focusing on the little things, sliding his feet, getting better defensively, challenging shots, taking angles away from ball handlers, and crashing the boards, diving for loose balls, coming over for screens. For charges, things of that nature. It's the little things that count, because one thing that you can always count on, and you should count on and always do, is play with energy and effort and heart. That's it. And the rest will take care of itself for the most part. But let's get to the team stats. Lakers out-rebound the Rockets 43-30, man. And then Lakers 56-44 points in the paint. Again, two key categories that the Lakers must win each game in the series to beat the Rockets in the series overall. All right, Laker fam, this concludes the game, full game recap. Great win for the Lakers in Game 3. Just have to duplicate the same aspects they did in Games 2 and 3. And, just up their defense, and they'll be fine. I got Lakers in 6, but we'll see. Comment, like, share, and subscribe on Tony and the Lake Show. And I'll see you guys in the next video, Laker Nation.